Excerpt from The Treasure That Seeking Hides. Michael Parody. This material may be protected by copyright. Preface. There are facts about the workings of our inner space that are not widely taught, and the general ignorance of these mechanics is exploited by those who understand the impact of their misapplication on the human psyche, e.g., the cultivation of division and fear for profit and control. But these same who exploit through ignorance are themselves ignorant of what they obscure, for if they discovered the truth, its product would eclipse what they seek in power, objects, and experiences. Consider that two people can have similar material circumstances, experience the same boons or misfortunes, and yet have totally different magnitudes of feeling about them. Why the difference, all else being materially equal? It must be something intangible, invisible, existing only in the realm of sentiment. The difference is in what's held in mind and the identification with the one to hold it. For example, two men are watching a sporting event, and their respective favorite teams are facing off. The outcome creates differing feelings in them, the nature and magnitude of which depends upon each man's devotion to his team, multiplied by the strength of his need to have things a certain way. The need to have things one's way requires that the state of things in the world match the mind's ideal, which is nothing but thoughts. The gap between a thought and reality is desire, which is suffering. Throughout life, your state of being is determined by the imaginary. Should imaginary things have this much power? What if they didn't? What would happen to our state of being were the imaginary nature of thoughts experientially exposed, and they were given no power to make us react? The exposure to such a condition is like seeing something that can't be unseen. The fear of a delusion cannot be recaptured once exposed. Just as a magic trick, such as saw the lady in half, once exposed, cannot fool the senses again. This absence of body and mind identification reveals our natural state, which is peace. In alignment with truth, there is peace. This work is about navigating the spectrum of life's intensity. There are people who seem to have everything, appear to be happy, and are actually miserable, like real-life Richard Corey's. And then there are those who have much less in the way of sustenance and security, but are the portrait of happiness. They can look the same on the outside, but feel totally different on the inside. The difference is in how they either consciously or unconsciously manage their inner space. It makes a difference that's of an unknown nature until it's discovered. As Solomon said, there is nothing new under the sun, and what's pointed to has been pointed to before by others. Just pointing to the truth as it's experienced. Each mind has its own unique configuration, and so two pointings can say the same thing in different ways, but only one will resonate with a particular mind. This work is short and the practice is extremely simple, but it may take years of mindful application to yield results, though a person who harbors great fear or suffering could undergo a profound realization. Dualistic terms can be used for the purpose of experientially revealing the non-dual state. The reaction to thoughts, beliefs, and emotions can impact the liberation of awareness from the hem of personal identity. The peace of the non-dual state doesn't appear as the result of some acceptance and holding of a concept, but rather, the experimental realization of the non-self nature of thought and form.